Hey everybody, Chad here. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 things that you have to be aware of, you have to know before you rent a condo or even buy a condo here in Thailand. I'm going to share with you actual 10 things that most people don't talk about. This isn't your stereotypical do these 10 things and you see the same 10 things across YouTube. This is something that nobody I found that actually talks about, that actually really give you advice on what to expect when you rent long-term in a condo, what to expect when you actually buy a condo. Now, before we get started here, some of these are going to seem like negative. Some of these things are going to seem negative connotations. I don't mean any type of negative things. I actually live in Thailand. I'm here in Hua Hin. I'm at my condo. So I love Thailand. But again, before you kind of jump into it, you need somebody to really tell you the truth, what to expect, rather than you learn it along the way. And if I knew things before, I would have handled them differently now. So this is what I'm trying to give you. So let's kind of jump into this. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is really the size of the condo. Now, if you're coming from the States, United States, like I am, you're coming from Europe or your country where you have bigger places. Now, I'm just way more familiar with the States, even though I travel a lot. But I mean, if you're coming from the Midwest, from the States, almost everybody has a house. Their house is between 3,000 to 5,000 square feet on average, maybe 2,500 feet. Even if you have an apartment or a condo, they tend to be at least like 1,000 square feet. So that's what you're really going to notice right away when you start looking at condos here in Thailand, is they're relatively very small. Even for a one bedroom, maybe like the average one bedroom is around 35 square meters. Now, 35 square meters is 374 square feet. So that's pretty small, compared to what you might be used to in your own country. And especially when you start looking at condos, when they say they're luxury condos, and you start thinking luxury condos are 35 square meters, no. So that's the biggest thing. That's more of an Asian culture, not just Thailand. When you go to the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, things tend to be rather really, really small. Now, you can get bigger. It's just going to cost you a little bit more. I mean, I want to say a lot more, but it's just going to cost you more money if you want to try to find something more sizable like you would have in your own country. But most things are going to be very, very kind of smaller than what you're really used to. And one of the things I had to get used to is, when they say luxury living, like it starts to bother me a little bit. So I'm just like, luxury living in a 35 square meter? I mean, no, because there's just not enough room for everything. And that kind of comes up with part two, is that since we're talking about the size of the condo, a lot of condos don't come with kitchens. If you're looking at studio apartments or studio condos, just like a studio, just one room, most of the time, or almost all, they're not going to come with a kitchen. It's just going to be a room. Now, when you actually jump up to a one bedroom, you have to be aware of, especially if you want a kitchen, you're going to want to ask if they have a kitchen. You want to see the kitchen, because there's a couple things here with kitchens in Thailand, especially in condos, is even if you jump up to a one bedroom, maybe half of them won't come with a kitchen. Even in luxury places, you know what I mean? I like to say luxury, but they like to use that term luxury because they might have really good amenities or something like that. But it's the kitchen. Okay, now at best, if they come with a kitchen, from my experience, at best, even in my one bedroom here, at best, the kitchen, in my opinion, is half a kitchen. It's not a full kitchen. It's half a kitchen. And let me explain, is that I have a microwave. I have two burners on top where you can actually do like a stovetop cooking, and you have a sink, and that's it. There's no oven. There's no dishwasher. There's no washer and dryer to do your clothes. That we'll talk about here in step 3 here in a second. And on top of that, there's no storage in the kitchen. There's no place to put your dry ingredients. Like if you go grocery shopping, like you do in your home country, or maybe you have a girlfriend staying with you, so you're kind of living almost like a family. You go grocery shopping at Big C or the street markets. There's really no place to kind of put your dry ingredients. Even if you look at a house, to buy a house or rent a house, it's really the same thing. Like Lots of times here, what you want to do is look for something that they call European style. When they say it's European style, like it's a European style condo, it means it's more closer to the United States, Europe, UK. It's more of that type of style of place, style of house. A lot. You also would hear Thai style. If I hear Thai style, if I'm looking for a condo, looking for a house, and right away they tell me it's Thai style, I already know I'm not going to like it, because usually Thai style is what you'll find is that there's no storage, there's no kitchen. Even in a big house, your kitchen would be the same size as your one bedroom condo. And there won't be an oven, no dishwasher, no burners to cook. It's just be like a blank kitchen with a sink. And I'll give you a really quick example. I just looked at a house, and I went and looked at it, and the agent that was showing the house was saying, well, I don't know if Chad's gonna like it because it's Thai style. But what was funny, when I went in the kitchen had like nothing in it. There was a kitchen, like room to kind of cook, but there's nothing to cook on. What a lot of Thai do, they actually go to Big C or Macro, and they buy those big external burners, and that's what they cook on. So you have to go buy your burner. There's no room for a stove. The refrigerators are small, so the place they built for the refrigerator was actually too small to put a refrigerator in. That it had a refrigerator sitting in the living room. So right when I walked in, I'm like, dude, no, I'm not gonna have my refrigerator sitting in the living room. That's coming on to, we're kind of moving on to part 3 here, is the refrigerator. Usually the refrigerators in condos, they are a little bit bigger, but they're not full size as what we're used to in the States. They tend to be like a 3/4 size refrigerator. And, that's kind of okay. But again, there's 2 of us here, and we're going shopping and stuff like that, putting a lot of stuff in the refrigerator, and it gets overly packed quite quickly, even for a 3/4 size refrigerator. It's not like a full size. Then also be aware of a lot of condos, even one bedrooms, I've seen come with tiny refrigerators, like the ones that maybe come up 3 feet. They're super tiny. So you want to make sure, unless you want to buy your own and stick it in, if it's already furnished, you're basically out of luck, but they're not going to take it out for you. Most of the time, they're not going to take it out. The owners are not going to take it. You're going to have to live with it. And this is kind of a Thai thing. And this is something I struggle with too, but to me, it's like an eyesore. I don't like looking at it, is that really Thai culture, or even Asian culture, is they don't have a washer and they do everything by hand. Then they come out with a balcony like this, like even behind me, and that's where they hang all their laundry out to dry. And then when I look over here, you can see some units beside me. I could look at it here. It's kind of an eyesore. You're allowed to do it, but everybody hangs their laundry out on their balcony. So to me, it kind of looks messy, looks sloppy, especially for a luxury complex, of course. Like when they try to sell you on luxury, when you go, and I'm looking at everybody's laundry out on their balcony. But that's a Thai thing. That's something you're going to have to get used to. Or if you don't like it, you just going to pick your unit, especially if you're here in person. You're going to have to pick your unit that you're not looking at that. Maybe you have a view of the beach, or you have the view of the ocean, view of the city, or you're going lower where you just have a direct view of the pool. So you're not really looking at other people's apartments or looking at other people's balconies of laundry. To me, sometimes it's an eyesore. It looks messy to me. Now, going on with washer and dryers, almost the best case scenario, especially in condos, is your place will come with a washer, but it doesn't come with a dryer. so that was kind of a chuckle I had to kind of get over. It's like, why does it come with a washer and not a dryer? If you have a washer, you're going to have a dryer, just like in the States. But it will only come with a washer, or it only will come with enough space for a washer and not a dryer. So you're kind of stuck in the same thing, same scenario, that, okay, I can do my laundry, wash my laundry, but then when it comes to drying, I have to stick it out on the balcony. And you're drying your sock, you're sticking out your socks and your boxers and underwear, not just like really nice shirts and stuff like that, or really nice pants that you kind of drip dry. You're drying everything. And this goes for even luxury apartments, that it's just, it's something that you have to get used to. So there's some perks living in a condo, or perks living in a luxury condo, but sometimes a lot of negative things come with that. So let's kind of go into those. Now, one of the things I want to kind of say that what you might not like is you have to be aware of a lot of condos in Thailand are treated like a hotel. I know that's not what you want to hear. And it is illegal in Thailand for them to treat a condo like a hotel, just like in the United States. There's what's called a Hotel Act here in Thailand. So to stay in a condo, you have to stay 30 days or more. That's considered long-term, 30 days or more. So lots of times they'll do 30-day contracts, they'll do 3-month contracts, 6-month contracts, or a year contract for you, or a year lease. But it has to be 30 days or more. If they fall under 30 days, that's considered a hotel. So like in a condo, people are not supposed to be staying 2-3 nights, then leave, or stay for a week and leave. That's considered a hotel. But they build so many condos in Thailand that they're not over occupied. At best case, they're only like 50% occupied. And then people come in and buy the properties as an investment. In my opinion, it's more of an amateur investment. But then they can't get people to stay there, or they can't get people to stay there long term. So then the whole condo complex will kind of do everything short term like a hotel. You can report them for this. It is illegal in Thailand. When I stay in Hua Hin, it's illegal in Hua Hin. Also, you have to be aware with Airbnbs. Airbnb is illegal in condos in Thailand. So you are risking when you stay in an Airbnb in a condo. I mean, if you tell somebody can report the owner of that room or that condo, and you might be asked to leave. So if you're on vacation, you are running a risk of that, because Airbnbs are illegal in condos in Thailand, because it's technically considered as a hotel. Or you have to stay 30 days or more to kind of go into more of a long-term contract. Especially through high season. High season is from November to February. So high season just has been, I don't want to say horrific here at the condo. It's very over occupied, even though they have rooms for everybody. But what I mean by over occupied is when you sign a lease, then your rent is based on your lease. Your rent is based on all the amenities. And if I signed a year lease, when they treat it like a hotel, when people's only staying for 2-3 nights or a week, what happens is all the amenities that the condo has are over occupied. They can't handle that many people. And since people's in vacation mode, they're hanging down by the pool, taking up all the seats. They're taking up the gym, because they're only staying for 2-3 nights or a week. So I understand where they're coming from. They want to get the most out of their vacation, because they're on vacation. But when you live here, you can't go down and enjoy the pool because it's just way too many people. Or you can't go in the gym because it's way too many people, because if they overtake. And when you start talking to people, you start to find out, well, I'm only here for 2-3 nights. So it really takes away from your standard of living when condos do this. Now you do have, and this kind of rolls into what can you do about it? You can report them to the Hotel Act here in Thailand and see if they're doing anything about it. That's a longer route. If you want to know legal, I got to tell you right now that I am not an attorney. Okay, I'm not an attorney in the U.S. and I'm not an attorney in Thailand. So I'm not really giving you legal advice, but just to give you some standard advice. You are protected by Thai law here in Thailand. You do have tenant laws here in Thailand. You do have tenant rights in Thailand. Now, the workers at the condo, they might think you're a parang, so you have no rights. You kind of get that a little bit, but you do have tenant rights. So, like, for example, if they're treating this whole place like a hotel, if I wanted to, I could legally actually break my lease, and they would have to refund me my deposits, and I could break my lease and go find someplace else. I can legally do that if I want to push it. You can argue it a lot of ways. It could be more dangerous because a lot more people's coming in. They don't really know who's here. People break things. They break the equipment, and it doesn't get replaced right away. Then since I live here long term, I'm the one that has to put up with it. Like a short term person here for 2-3 nights broke it. Then people here long term have to put up with broken equipment because they don't replace it fast enough, or broken chairs, or so forth and so forth. Or they break the pool or whatever, or break certain things with the pool. But they got saunas, they got like splashy stuff for the children. If those break, it takes a while to fix, and it's usually broken by somebody short term. That might be something you don't want. Now, that being said, let's kind of go to pricing of the condos. One of the things you have to understand is, one, there's always room to negotiate. Okay, now two to this is that if you're coming from the States, there's really no rent control here. Once you leave the States, a lot of countries, or especially when you go into Asia, there's no rent control, there's no pricing control. Even if you want to buy a condo or buy a house, there's no pricing control of it. They can charge whatever they want. And we're talking a little bit more about this in a second. But the reason why I say this is like there's always room to negotiate. Since there's no rent control, they ask for how much they can get, and they always start super high. And you see tons of YouTube videos about this. Every time someone lives in Thailand, they go out and follow an agent around and do a YouTube video of the one bedroom apartment, and they slap on, oh, it's 25,000 baht a month for this one bedroom apartment in Bangkok. That is extremely flippin' overpriced. You can get through proper negotiation, you can pretty much get every single one bedroom condo for $300 or a little bit under $300 per month. So kind of elaborate on the rent control. Like everybody here staying could be paying way different prices. No one's paying the same price. And like I said, they throw out a high number so you can negotiate. Now negotiating, in my opinion, you can easily negotiate off the top around 10 to 30% off what they're asking for. They always aim high because all these condos here, they're Farang condos. Or when you live here, you start noticing they're calling, oh, these are Farang homes. These are homes that Farang buy. These are condos that Farang live, or they're investors that Farang buy. And anything's built for Farang is going to be high price, and it's going to be more than what they're even asking. It's going to be more than what it's even worth. And another thing to be aware of, if you do want to buy, you can the same thing. You can easily negotiate about 30% off the asking price because they're aiming so high. Another thing is to kind of not trick them, but basically when I'm looking for a house and buy a house, I always ask, well, do you guys go through a bank? Do I do a bank loan? Do I pay cash only? What's the whole process? And I'm really waiting to kind of see what they say, because a lot of places will do this. They'll say, oh, we only do cash only. Now, in my opinion, just you can take the advice or not. In my opinion, as an investor, my opinion is when they say cash only, it really means the condos or the houses are overpriced. They don't want to mess with a bank. Okay, in Thailand, I used to own a luxury condo in the Philippines. It's the same way. When they don't want to mess with a bank, what that really tells you is the place is overpriced. So what that tells me is there's a lot of room to negotiate. There's a lot of room to negotiate down. The reason why they don't want to mess with banks here in Thailand is because anytime you do a bank loan, the bank, even in Thailand, the bank will send out their appraisal or appraiser to appraise the property. Now, they call it something different in Thailand, but the term, just because they call it something different, it means the same thing. They send out an appraiser to appraise the property and make sure the property is worth what the loan amount is. So they don't want to get a bank involved because they know the bank is going to say, no, the house isn't worth this. Or the condo isn't worth 5 million baht, Chad. The condo is only worth 1.5. And you get a lot of that. You get a lot of extreme, pricing here in Thailand. So you kind of do that to your favor. Start kind of asking those type of questions, or kind of play stupid a little bit. I'm a master. I'm a master at playing stupid, but I really know. This actually can lead into visa issues, because there are some visas you can get besides a retirement visa. Even if you're below 50, there are some visas you can get. Like if I own a house here, I can qualify for a year visa. My house might have to be 2 million baht and more, but if I own a house, that could qualify me for a certain type of visa. If I own a very luxury house that's maybe like 5 million baht, 8 million baht, 10 million baht, I might be able to qualify for they have like different visas, like a wealthy visa, investment visas. That might qualify me for that visa. But beware, okay, the fine print of these visas, if you buy a property and you have some type of property visa, is this, is when you actually go to apply for these visas and you say, well, my house is worth 8 million baht. This is what I bought it for. Okay, the visa, that Thai immigration would do the same thing. They're sending an appraiser out to appraise your property and see how much it's worth for your visa. It doesn't matter what you paid for it. It goes by what Thai say it's worth. Okay, just like inside the United States. Now, this has happened, not to me, but it's happened to people where they buy something for 8 million baht. They think it's going to qualify them for a certain type of visa. Then Thai immigration sends in an appraiser. The appraiser goes in and appraises it and comes back with, oh, it's only worth 4 million, but you bought it for 8 million baht. But they come back and say it's only worth 4. So what that means is you can't qualify for your visa. You basically overpaid 4 million baht for your house, or 4 million. You overpaid 4 million baht for your condo, and it can be very easy to do in Thailand if you're not careful and you don't do your homework and you don't negotiate properly. That's all I can say. You know, you need to negotiate. You need to negotiate. You know, there's always room to negotiate. So negotiate. Now, we got 2 more left here. The last one I want to talk about is parking, your parking spaces in Thailand. Most condos in Thailand doesn't come with an assigned parking space. So like here, for example, in the condo I live, it's open parking in the parking area. They have okay parking. The only thing, the size of the parking seems to be a little bit smaller than the size of the condo. Like if this was like just super full, every room was rented, everybody lived here and occupied every room, there honestly wouldn't be enough room to actually park. So the parking spaces in condos, or the whole parking lot, can be actually smaller than the actual place. It can be over occupied if it comes to that point. The second thing with parking is you don't get your own parking space. Okay, when I rented this and signed the lease, I actually asked, do I have my own assigned parking space? They told me yes. I mean, I guess the only excuse was that they misunderstood what I was asking. But when I came here, I didn't have my own assigned parking space. It's just open parking. Okay, now this kind of brings along 2 different things. Okay, do you have a car or do you have a motorbike? Because a motorbike, and you might already know this, but a motorbike, you can't park a motorbike in an actual parking space, like a car space. You have to park a motorbike in motorbike parking. They do have motorbike parking, but one of the things, I mean, I like it in a way because it's shaded, so your motorbike's not getting rained on, it's out of the sun. But really, like when you own your own motorbike, is when you park it in motorbike parking, it gets scratched up. People run into it, people park too close to you, you get scratches on it. Even if you rent, you have to be careful of this, because when you're renting, most of the time they're taking pictures of the bike. If you got scratches on it when you return it, they're going to want you to fix it. Now that kind of leads into if you have a car. Now, if you have a car, it's kind of what I said. It's open parking. Like you don't, like, for example, if I stay here for 1 year, I don't have my own assigned space. You know, it's just open. So if they hire a lot of short term, a lot of people coming in for 2-3 days, Hua Hin is very popular because it's close to Bangkok. So a lot of people that live in Bangkok on the weekend actually come down to Hua Hin and do like a weekend getaway all the time. Like Thai locals do it, plus Farang that live in Bangkok. It's easy to kind of go down to Hua Hin. And, you know, you start seeing on the weekends where it's a lot more occupied. Somebody comes in for 2-3 nights and they take up all the parking spaces, and you live here for a year and you can't find parking. It can get kind of frustrating. So, you know, those are kind of terms to kind of look at in a condo, view the parking area, make sure that's not going to happen. That way you don't have a mental breakdown when that starts happening. Now, the last nugget I'm going to share with you is actual pricing. You know, what a condo is really worth. You know, if you want to rent a studio, you want to rent a 1 bedroom, you want to rent a 2 bedroom, what is a real price, what you should be actually going after for that size of a condo. Now, for me, I've never went after a studio. So a studio is actually going to be cheaper than a 1 bedroom, or should be cheaper than a 1 bedroom. Just because I wanted a little bit more extra space, because like I said before, condos are smaller than the United States, or smaller than what you're used to. So I always went after a 1 bedroom, but this is what I would actually look for in a 1 bedroom. Most 1 bedrooms are only worth about $300. So most one bedrooms are only worth about 10,000 baht to about 12,000 baht. Sometimes you can negotiate under 10,000. Sometimes you can negotiate like maybe 8,000 baht, 9,000 baht if you sign a year lease. The longer your lease, the cheaper it should get. So if you stay 1 month is going to be more expensive than if you stay 3 months. That kind of goes in that. If I stay 3 months, cheaper than a month. If I stay 6 months, that should be cheaper than 3 months. If I stay a year, that should be the cheapest I should pay. And just like I said before, they're not going to start at 300 bucks. They're not going to start at 12,000 baht. Even if they start at 12,000 baht, you could easily talk them down to 10,000 baht. But you're going to get the best deals actually being here in Thailand, just because if you're actually here in Thailand, you're looking at everything for your own view, okay? You know what you like, dislike, you're asking questions, and you can actually negotiate. And if you like it, I can rent it right now today. If you give me a price I'm really asking for, I'll sign a contract right now today and give you the money today. So that's the power you have when you're actually in Thailand versus if you're in your own country. Now, what would I pay for a 2-bedroom? Now, for a 2-bedroom, in my opinion, should be anywhere around 15,000 baht to 20,000 baht. Now, these are luxury complexes. These aren't any condo. Like, I'm giving you luxury complexes. This is what luxury prices you should be paying for luxury. 15,000 baht to 20,000 baht. You shouldn't be paying 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. You shouldn't be paying 80,000 baht for a condo. That's a European price that is ultra ridiculous here in Thailand. It's super overpriced. And it's just frame price. They're just taking advantage of you. If that's what you're willing to pay, they're taking. That's why I'm saying there's no rent control. They throw out that number to you, but they think you have no experience. Then if you say, okay, then you're going to sign a contract paying 80,000 baht. That's what you're going to be on the hook for. So then after you live there, you'll find somebody like me that's paying 17,000. Then you'd be like stomping in to your agent to figure out what happened. You know what I mean? But it's just, there's always room to negotiate. And the best times to do this is really stay away from high season. Okay, high season is from November to February. High season, even in a condo, especially if they're treating it like a hotel, they're going to try to get max price. A lot of people here in high season will pay 40,000 baht a month in high season. Well, I'm paying 17,000 baht. You see what I'm getting? So in high season, they try to max it out to get as much money as they can. So you have to wait for low season. Now, low season is really from about March to June. Okay, that kind of goes into low season where not as many people staying in a condo. So you're negotiating, your power of negotiating actually increases because they don't have the numbers here. You know what I mean? So they're going to give you a better deal. Or if you can wait to rainy season's even better because a lot of vacationers are not coming in rainy season. Rainy season is around, it kind of starts in June, but it really starts in July. So it goes from like July to October, or July to almost beginning of November. That's rainy season. So if you can nab something in rainy season, you're probably going to get the best deal because nobody's renting. The high season is gone. People's not coming to Thailand as much to vacation because it's going to rain every single day. So they don't want to deal with that. You don't want to go on vacation when it rains every single day for 2 weeks or a month. So your prices you're going to be able to negotiate a wonderful price for you. And that's how you're getting these prices. Like when I tell you for a 1-bedroom, you can go from 10,000 to 12,000. That's how you get these prices, because you're negotiating in low season, you're negotiating in rainy season, so you're getting a wonderful price for yourself. Then people coming in high season, you're paying like 3 or 4 times less than what they're paying. So that's how you get a wonderful deal. Another way to this is that you have to be here in Thailand. I mean, you have to kind of come here. Either you come here, live in a resort, you look around where you want to live, and you go and start checking out places. You find one you like, and you start negotiating. And remember, it's a renter's market here in Thailand. It's a renter's market and a buyer's market. Agencies will actually try to get the scarcity concept. If you've ever worked in sales, you know what I'm saying. They try to make you believe that there's scarcity. They try to make you believe, like, this is a huge complex. They try to make you believe there's only 5 units available. But from living here, I know about half the units are not full. So So it's a renter's market. Okay, they're building condos all the time, but they're really building condos for Farang, and they just don't have the people coming to Thailand to actually rent the condos, and they're a little more overpriced for Thai locals, so Thai locals don't come in and rent. So they're there's a lot. Well, my point is there's a lot of places. So whatever price that you want, you can find something wonderful for that price. You can find a luxury apartment, a luxury condo for $300, and that kind of goes into the rooms. Okay, then the rooms, once you live here and you look at a lot of places, one thing I started noticing, even from basic condos to luxury condos, is I'm in a luxury condo. Okay, when you look at the amenities are great, but when you actually come into the room in a luxury condo is almost identical to a room just in a basic condo. Okay, basic condo, you might pay 8,000 baht, that they don't have no amenities. Maybe they have a little pool, but maybe no amenities. You pay 8,000 baht to live there for a year. And you come to a luxury condo, you have a wonderful pool, you have a nice gym, but you go in, I pretty much have the same room, the same one bedroom. It's pretty much the same. It's the same. It's the same. Like half a kitchen. I don't have a I have a washer but no dryer. It's the same thing. So you start noticing it. It's the same type of room, and that's another thing is that when you come. Luxury, I lived in luxury complexes, luxury condos, luxury apartments when I used to live in Los Angeles. So luxury in the United States, luxury in your country, luxury in Europe, UK is really different than luxury in Thailand. Okay, you're not going to be on the same plane. You know what I mean? They'll call it luxury, and you come in, and it's like, dude, it's just a basic room. It's a basic one bedroom. But other than that, my friends, hopefully this helped. Like I said before, comment below if you have questions. I'm a wealth of information. Just because, one, I travel a lot. Two, now I've lived in Thailand for 2 years. I'm doing long stays. I've been on different visas and stuff like that, how to do it. I still travel home to visit family and come back. But, I've talked to agencies, visa agencies. I've talked to Thai immigration. I have a Thai girlfriend here. Plus, I'm an investor, so I really get into like what are the true costs in Thailand. So I can give everybody a realistic truth behind wanting to stay in a condo, rent a condo, or buy a condo. So comment below your experience too. Maybe you disagree with me. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Maybe you always have the keyboard warriors that come in and say, "Oh, you hate Thailand, get out of Thailand." No, I love Thailand, but when people want advice, you have to give people truthful advice, and it's not going to be perfect no matter where you live, no matter what country you go to. There's going to be pros and cons, like things you're going to have to put up with, things you're going to have to adjust to, but these are just things that most people don't talk about, and it's the truth. There's no negative around it. It's just giving you honest advice. But other than that, blessings to you. I'll see you in the next video, and maybe we run into each other in Thailand one day.